This is the quiz number 22 on sections chapter 5, 5.1, 5.4, 5.5. We took this on May 1st, 2015. Question number 1, what is the name of the segment inside the large triangle? So it's talking about this one here in orange. Notice here it has a perpendicular and it also has a midpoint. So that midpoint is called a, that means the segment is a bisector. So your answer is perpendicular bisector. Number 2, what is the name of the segment inside the large triangle? So here's the segment again, and notice the only marks you have are congruent angles. Well, what makes congruent angles? That would be an angle bisector. That segment is an angle bisector. Question number 3, given DE is the perpendicular bisector of JL, so here's JL. Notice how you can mark it up. There's my perpendicular bisector. Well, the other part of the definition of perpendicular bisector is that point D is on the perpendicular bisector, therefore it's equidistant. So put these marks here. That means D, which statement is not necessarily true off that picture? DK is not congruent to KE. JL is in the perpendicular bisector. We know it's perpendicular, DE and JL. We also know that K is the midpoint. We know it's a midpoint because it has those two marks. And DJ is equal to DL. That means it's equidistant. Question number 4. Let's see if I can zoom in more. Q is equidistance from the sides of angle TSR. So you already know that because it has our marks there. If I know that it's equidistant here, and it's measured perpendicularly, that means I know that this is the angle bisector. If that's the angle bisector, that means I know that these two angles are congruent. Therefore, I can take 2x plus 24 and 30 degrees and set them equal to each other. When you do and you solve, you'll get x equals 3. Question number 5. In the figure above, what is SP? So, same thing. I know it's an angle bisector because I have those two marks. This means that this is the angle bisector. Therefore, they're measured perpendicularly, and these two segments are congruent. So x equals 2x minus 3 is my equation, and you'll solve to be x equals 3. But notice here it doesn't say what is the value of x. What is the value of SP? Well, SP is a length of 2x minus 3. Substitute in x equals 3, and you'll still get an SP equals to 3. Question number 6. What can you say about the figure below in which BE is the perpendicular bisector of AC? So BE, here it is. That's the perpendicular bisector. You can see it also because it's perpendicular, and there's the bisector. AB is equal to 20. That's true, because if it's on the perpendicular bisector, B is, it's equidistance. So this would also be 20. That's true. AC equals 16. So here's AC. That is true because these are congruent. 8 and 8 gives us 16. Choice C, DC is equal to 8. That is true because that's the definition of congruent segments when it's the midpoint. Therefore, your answer is D, all of these. Question number 8. Find the length of the midsegment. So it's already telling you this is the midsegment here, right? Let's just say you still didn't see that. You can also see, well, this is 47, and this is also 47, so you can make these marks. Sorry, doing the wrong problem. Go back. Number 8. Find the value of x. I have my... This is a midpoint on this side, this is a midpoint, therefore this here in green is my mid segment, and in orange that is my base, My equation is base is equal to 2 times the midsegment. My base is 16, and my midsegment is 3x minus 4. Don't forget to distribute there. Add a to both sides, divided by 6, x is equal to 4. Find the value of x. I found it, so choice A. Question number 9. Find the length of the midsegment. So it has both 47, which means those are congruent, so I can put these marks here. 56, they're both 56, so I can do 2 congruent marks. This helps me identify that this is the midsegment. Down here, this is my base. Base equals 2 times the midsegment. My base is 4x plus 44, and my midsegment is quantity 4x plus 2. I can just distribute here. 8x plus 4. I can subtract 4x, subtract 4. You'll get 4x equals 40, which means that x is equal to 10. Now in this problem, it doesn't say find the value of x. It says find the length of the midsegment. So I take x equals 10, and I put it into my midsegment. 4 times 10 plus 2 gives me 42. My answer is choice C. For question number 10, which 3 lengths could be the lengths of the sides of a triangle? So here they're asking which of these is a triangle. When I usually do multiple choice questions like this, I go through every single one of them. Remember, in order for it to be a triangle, 2 sides of the triangle, the sum of 2 sides of the triangle must be greater than the third. Well, for choice A, if I take 12 plus 5, is 17 greater than 17? It's not. So you can put a slash through that. It means not greater than. If you do choice C, same thing. 9 and 11. 9 plus 11, that is not greater than 22. So that means these lengths cannot form a triangle. D, notice how I'm not going through all of them. I'm just finding that counter example. 7 plus 6, that would be 13. 13 is not greater than 21. Remember, if you do the 3 mini problems, if one of those is false, that means it's not a triangle. For part B, when you do your 3 mini problems, 15 plus 24 is greater than 10, and 10 plus 24 is greater than 15. Notice how all 3 of these inequalities are true. Therefore, it makes it a triangle. Therefore, my answer is B. Question number 11. Two sides of a triangle have lengths 10 and 15. What must be true about the length of the third side, x? So you have 3 lengths, x, 10, and 15. Set up your 3 inequalities, and when you solve, you'll get x is greater than 5, x is less than 25, or 25 is greater than x, and x is greater than negative 5. You can't have a length that is negative 5, so I cross that one off. I have these 2 here. Notice how they both have an x in common. I put the smaller number to the left, larger number to the right. This says x is greater than 5. You read it from right to left. X is greater than 5. And then over here where it says 25 is less than, x is less than 25. X is less than 25. My compound inequality answer is choice A. Question number 12. Name the smallest angle of triangle ABC. Well, I don't have any angle measures. So triangle inequality tells us that since I have the smallest side, it has the smallest angle. That'll be angle B. Notice how you can circle that and go across, and that'll tell you about the angle. Question number 13. List the sides in order from shortest to longest. So what I did is they're asking for sides, but all I have is angles. So I list all my angles in smallest to biggest. Then I go across from those angles. Across 50 degrees is JL. across 64, that's a floor, 64 degrees is JK. And across 66 degrees is side LK. And now I have them from least to greatest. This would match choice C. Question number 14. In triangle ABC, angle A is congruent to angle B. So I drew a triangle, labeled it A, B, and C, and now I know that A is congruent to B. So I put these arcs. And it says, and C is an obtuse angle. So I know that obtuse angle here is greater than 90. Which statement is true? Well, I have an isosceles triangle. And if this is greater than 90, this means that these two angles have to be smaller than 90 degrees. So that means that these are both acute, which means across angle C is AB. So largest angle means the largest side. So I know that AB is the longest side. That'll be choices B and D. And if we marked up our picture, base angles theorem converse, across angle A is side BC, and across angle B is side AC. These are also congruent, so therefore my answer is choice B. Question number 15. Given AB is the perpendicular bisector of IK, name two lengths that are equal. Well, here's AB. That is the knife. Is the perpendicular bisector. That's the knife. It's cutting in half IK. So here's my congruent segments. This is your midpoint, and they're also perpendicular. IJ is congruent to JK. Question number 16. B is the midpoint of AC, so I'm marking out my picture as I read the clues. D is the midpoint of CE. Solve for x, given BD is 5x plus 3, so I write it on my triangle, and AE is 4x plus 18. Well, if it's telling you that this is the midpoint on the sides, it's essentially telling you that this is the midsegment. Midsegment. And across from the midsegment is AE, which is the base. Just use your algebra skills to finish the problem. You're going to distribute. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides, subtract 4x from both sides. I get 12 equals 6x, and x equals 2. In this problem, all it tells me to do is solve for x. Question number 17. It gives us the 3 angle measures of angle A, B, and C. So I put that in my triangle. Notice how their angle measures, measure angles. It says list the sides of triangle ABC in order from shortest to longest. So if I can get some angle measures, then I can tell about the sides. So I have triangle sum theorem, 9x minus 7, 28 minus 2x, and 7x minus 9. When I use triangle sum theorem, I'll solve for x to be 13. Now it says list the sides. Well, I don't have any side lengths, so I have to look at the angle measures. If I take x equals 13, and I substitute it in, I'll get the 3 angle measures of 2 degrees, 82, and 117 degrees. I can write those 3 angle measures in order from least to greatest. So I have 2, 82, and 17. Across 2 degrees is AB. Across 82 degrees is AC. And across BC is 117 degrees. So this is from least to greatest. And this is my answer. For question number 18, you can refer back to last week's quiz. That was the same exact question. Gives you an equilateral triangle. All sides are the same, therefore you set them equal to each other. Solve for x. Then once you know what the third side is, substitute in for x, and you realize that all sides are 30. Question number 19. In the diagram, ABC below, triangle ABC below, AB is 10, BC is 14, and AC is 16. So there's two ways of doing this problem. Here's the long way of doing the problem. Is you're given all of the bases, 10, 14, and 16. Well, if you find each of the mid-segments, across 14 is half of that would be 7, across 16 half of that is 8, and across 10 is your mid-segment, which is half of that, which is 5. So 5 plus 7 plus 8 gives me a perimeter of 20. 20 is your perimeter. Now, another way of doing the problem is recognizing that your perimeter of the big is 10 plus 16 plus 14, which is 40. And the perimeter of the big is equal to 2 times the perimeter of the small. So if I just divide by 2 here, the perimeter of the big divided by 2 is equal to the perimeter of the small. Therefore, the perimeter of the small is 40 divided by 2, or the same thing as 20. And the last question. In triangle LMG, MK is the angle bisector. So that automatically tells me angles 1 and 2 are congruent. You can put those marks there. If the measure of angle 1 is 2n plus 10, and the measure of angle 2 is 4n minus 32, and the measure of angle L is 60 degrees, find the measure of angle G. Well, I know that 1 and 2 are congruent because it's an angle bisector. I solve for n equals 21. Once I have n, I can substitute it into one of those angles. I substitute in for angle 1. 2 times 21 plus 10 gives me 52 degrees. These will be both 52 degrees. Well, it says L is 60, so 52 plus 60 plus this will give me a triangle sum theorem. Therefore, this angle here is 68 degrees. Well, if this is 68 degrees, you can use a linear pair postulate. Will give me 112. 52 plus 112 plus this angle equal 180. That's wrong. 168. Do you guys see why that's wrong? Does that equal 180 degrees? No. Let's double check. Subtract 2n, add 32 is 42, n equals 21. 84, 52, so that's 52 degrees, that's 60, that gives me 112. 112 plus 68 gives me 180. Angle G, because if I add these three angles together, that equals more than 180. Could be. Alright, so we figure that out. Just gonna do it.